The Shoe Polish Boy. Then shall the eyes of the blind be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb shall sing. Based on Isaiah 35, 5-6. The boy, Charles, was only 12 years old when his parents sent him to work in the shoe polish factory. Blacking, they called it back then. Black polish for shoes. The factory where Charles worked was black too. It was dark and dirty and falling apart. Big old grey rats squeaked and scuffled and ran all over the floor while Charles worked with the other children. That was London in 1824, when children from poor families often worked all day to get money for food. Soon after Charles started working, his father was put in jail for not paying his bills. The family needed the 6 shillings a week that Charles earned at the shoe polish factory. It was less than $1 in American money, but it would buy him at least 1 meal a day to help with expenses. It was Charles's job to package the pots of paste blacking. He wrapped each jar in oil paper and then in blue paper. He tied them with string and then neatly cut the edges off the paper. Finally, he stuck the company label on top. One of the other boys, an orphan named Bob Fagin, showed Charles how to tie the string around each jar and knot it. Charles did his work pot by pot, hour by hour, day after day. He was miserable. The other boys saw that there was something special about Charles. They called him the young gentleman, but his own dreams of becoming a learned and distinguished man were crushed. Charles Dickens was wrong about his future. He did grow up to be a distinguished man. Although he became a famous author, he never forgot the blacking factory. Much later, he wrote of that time, saying, "No words can express the secret agony of my soul." Dickens used the memories of the hard times from his childhood to write his novels. Sometimes he even gave his characters the names or personalities of people from his past. One such story is about an orphan called Oliver Twist. In that book, the ringleader of a gang of pickpockets is called Fagin, named after Bob Fagin from the blacking factory. Dickens also wrote the very first Christmas book. He called it A Christmas Carol, and he finished it in 6 weeks, just in time for Christmas of 1843. It was published in red and gold with hand-coloured drawings and golden edges. It was a bestseller from the start and has been popular ever since. Scrooge and Tiny Tim and the Ghost of Christmas keep showing up in movies and on television, and even in cartoons and comic books. Dickens' Christmas story is about 2 kinds of people. Scrooge is rich and healthy, but his heart is sick with meanness and greed. Tiny Tim cannot walk, but his spirit is strong and loving. It is Tiny Tim who knows the true meaning of Christmas right from the beginning. In one part of the story, Tim rides home from Christmas services on his dad's shoulders. The boy tells his father that he hopes the church people will notice his crippled legs because, he says, it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Tiny Tim's words are a reminder that when Jesus was on earth, he healed the sick and the handicapped and the brokenhearted. This part of Jesus' ministry was prophesied in the verses from the Old Testament that we read today. The one who healed in Israel long ago is still our healer today. The verses promise that someday God will heal his people, body and soul. The blind will see and the deaf will hear. Those who cannot walk will jump high like deer, and those who cannot speak will be able to sing. Jesus did not come to Bethlehem just to fix broken bodies. He came to redeem our sick hearts. He came for the selfish, miserly, mean-hearted Scrooges. He came to a world crippled by sin. The baby of Bethlehem grew up to be the man of Calvary. There he took upon himself the sins and the sorrows and the sickness of all humanity. There he offered to all the gift of healing. No Christmas gift, however wonderful, can satisfy a broken heart, heal a suffering body, or change a sinful life. Only Jesus and his gift of salvation offers that promise, hope and help for our present sorrows, and perfect life, health, and pure joy one day in heaven.